also emotional health, mental health, and clearing toxic thoughts and feelings. These are also vital to a healthy mindset. What stage in your life did you actually realize that good health is a lifestyle and not just running the treadmill? You were talking to us about that before we actually went to the break, at the end of Miss Jamaica World, on
Right.
that moment.
Yeah, so imagine conquering your goal weight, something that just
Mm-hmm.
really meant the world to me at that time because it was some really difficult years. I
Mm-hmm.
was clinically depressed. I was struggling with an eating disorder at that time, something that I feel very passionate speaking about because it's not, especially within the context of Jamaica, is not something that we like to talk about or to address.
Mm-hmm.
So it's something that I like to share very, very openly. It was some very difficult years. And I thought that they were difficult because I was overweight. And I thought that when I lost all the weight, then I would regain my happiness and feel like myself again. And when I did shed and lose the 65 pounds finally, and just kind of froze in my thoughts, in fear, in not feeling good enough. In fact, when you look at all of my pictures from Miss Jamaica World, my tummy sucked in because it's like the emotional and mental shackles that you're still in after kind of
Mm-hmm.
going through that transformation is still very present. And so even though you look your best and boy, everybody just have so much great things to say, if you are not feeling good within yourself, then none of that matters. And I think that was the moment, the aha moment for me, when I knew, even though I had conquered it from a weight loss perspective, there was just so much more work to be done. And that was when I started to really pursue my spiritual journey. But not just from what I had studied or what I was grown and brought up in, but from my personal perspective, building a relationship with the creator that was a personal relationship with me and him. And just reading and really understanding my emotions and just the fears that I had developed over the years and the insecurities,
Mm-hmm.
and just the negative thoughts. And these are some of the things that you have to actively work on. I think as humans, we're almost automatically wired in the negative. And if we don't actively wake up every single day and consciously choose positive thoughts and, consciously choose gratitude over fear. When you're living from a place of gratitude, there's not much that you can be fearful of. When you're living from a place of faith and full faith, that not everything is going to work out how you want it and in the time that you're going to want it, but when you have faith in the journey and you have faith in the creator, then you know that every single thing, including the obstacles, are there for you to learn the lessons, to receive the blessings, and that there are blessings every single day. We just have to look for them. And it took me a really long time to
Mm-hmm.
understand that in the fullness, and not just understand that, but understand the importance of it in one's health journey. And that really and truly, I don't think it would have taken me that long to lose the weight if I understood that from
Mm-hmm.
then, and really delved into self-love. Is a very big theme, one that again I feel very, very passionate about, because it plays a very important role. We can't lose weight because we don't love ourselves, and that when we lose the weight, we're going to be able to love ourselves. You know what I mean? We have to choose healthier and make healthier choices every day because we love ourselves, right? We're exercising not because we hate our body, we're exercising because we love our body. We're not,
Mm-hmm.
you know, going out of our way to meal prep and really learn about the foods that fuel our body and make us come alive and really thrive and feel in great spirits and good mood, because a lot of people don't realize that the food we eat really affects our mood and our energy levels and all of these things. But we're not doing that because we hate our tummy or we feel like our arms big or all of these
Mm-hmm.
things. We're
Mm-hmm.
doing that because we love our body and that we want to live. The quality of our life is important, and that the vitality that we feel is really rooted in the decisions that we're making every day, and it has to come from a place of love and not from a place of fear. And I feel like up until that moment, that's what my choices reflected.
Mm-hmm. And that's just some awesome perspective that you're giving us, because I think a lot of us are of the mindset that when you hit the gym or you want to change something about your body, is not changing it because you love your body. The first thing, the first notion that comes to mind is that, oh, you're doing this because, you know, you hate your arms, you hate your fat tummy or whatever it is. And that is why I really wanted to kickstart 2021 of season 2 of Road to Success, the journey with you, because I have watched you through your social media platforms and your classes, and when you work out, like, you do it with a passion, you give of yourself so selflessly, but that in itself over time can become taxing on the body, you know, like just giving, you keep giving to people, and it's awesome that you're giving, and it's awesome that you're helping us to level up and get on the same level that you are on. But how do you actually recharge after a day of giving and, you know, doing it
Yeah.
all?
Yeah, I mean, with some new form habits, I would say over the last year and a half,
Mm-hmm.
I think I am an all or nothing type of person. And I grew up seeing my mom work very, very hard in, you know, that whole theme in terms of working hard, or working smart and not working hard. So I
Mm-hmm.
kind of grew up seeing my mom waking up at 3 a.m. every single morning, because she holds a very demanding position in the UN, while also, you know, pursuing music, being a mother of 5 children and a very active mother. And so her whole thing in life, her MO, it was just working hard, working hard. And so that's kind of how I was raised, working hard. And if you didn't put in the hours, and if you didn't pull the all-nighter, and if you didn't wake up at the 3 a.m., then you weren't really working. And I think that in the last year and a half, you know, all the things that I've achieved, all the things up until that point that I'm super proud of, was by putting in the hours and working hard and wearing a badge on my chest for being an overachiever and a perfectionist and, you know, go. And I would
Mm-hmm.
say at the end of 2019, I hit another rock bottom because I was burnt out. I was
Wow.
super burnt out. I think that I gave everything and didn't have any more to give. And
Mm-hmm.
that is when I learned the power of rest and the
Mm-hmm.
power of sleep and the power of meditation and the power of it being okay to just turn off for a second, or it being necessary, and that you don't always have to be on, and not being guilty about just, what are you doing? Nothing. I'm doing nothing. I'm putting my
Mm-hmm.
phone on airplane mode and I'm
Mm-hmm.
sitting down and writing in my journal. I'm doing nothing. And it took me that rock bottom to really understand that, you know, I just overdid it. And so, you know, even within the WellFit Club, I have 6 and now added one more pillar. So I now have 7 pillars of WellFit, and that is Move Well, which really covers the exercise aspect. And, you know, we do live classes every day, and it's just a joy for me. As you said, it
Mm-hmm.
really is a passion for me to just like, go,
Do
spread it
you
all
have
out.
the energy
And
every day though?
you know, it's exciting for me, you know, and coaching these, you know, predominantly women at the moment, from all over
Mm-hmm.
the world who are just committed to their health, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so there's Move Well, then there is Eat Well, and that really covers the nutrition aspect that, you know, you cannot be healthy if you're not eating well. Then there is Drink Well. That's also a very important pillar of health, you know, staying adequately hydrated, you know, really minimizing your caffeine intake, not drinking sodas, you know, staying hydrated is a very, in fact, watch, please, a big water bottle here. I'm gonna left it, right? I have to finish
Mm-hmm.
this before the end of every day.
Oh
Then
wow.
there is sleep well, and that was another new very pillar for me. And what's cool is that all of what I preach and believe in and just feel so passionate about, it's because I have gone through and journeying through it myself. So
Mm-hmm.
I already know what it feels like to be sleep deprived and chronically sleep
Mm-hmm.
deprived. And, you know, I don't know if you would have followed my journey, um, up until maybe like 6 years ago, where I was deep into health coaching and I was breaking out with some cystic, terrible acne. When I say, I
Mm-hmm.
can't even explain to you. what that was for me at that time, because here it is, I'm this health coach and personal trainer, and I was doing my workouts at Emancipation Park, and everybody would come and interview me, and cameras up in my face and acne everywhere. Right? So here it is that I'm eating good, I am I'm exercising, but I have a face full of acne. What is that? It's because all of the other pillars of health that I didn't really understand in the fullness. Like, I was so concerned with the exercise and the diet that I didn't look into all of the other very important
Aspects.
pillars. And so sleep well, rest well, which is very different from sleep. Feel well is a new one that I just added, because emotional well-being is a huge part of you feeling your best. I mean, huge. And then the last pillar is live well, because sometimes we don't live. Sometimes we're just so caught up in the hamster wheel. We're so caught up in going after the success, this road to success, but it's really the journey. You know what I mean? And we have to take our little time, and we have to pause. We have to be thankful for the victories, big and large. We have to be grateful for what we have, because when we're grateful for what we have, we don't need anything else, right? And that need for always wanting something else, this comparison with social media, and like, this person who's achieved this and that person, it causes friction and inflammation in our thoughts and our feelings, right? There's chronic inflammation that's physical, but there's also chronic inflammation that is mental and emotional. And we can't want for what we don't need, right? And when you have everything that you when you have everything that you need, it's like, life is beautiful. There is nothing that you're stressing about. And how we deal with our stress is another important thing. What are our thoughts telling us? I saw somebody make a post the other day, and it's something that I've been saying for a long time. I don't even remember who made it, but it's this, thought around bad mind, and bad mind being this thing that we always talk about. But sometimes we bad mind against ourselves too, because sometimes when we think about the things, like, we just always clinging to the negative. I'm not gonna get the job. Look how my tummy look in the picture. Look how, you know what I mean? These are just toxic. We can't be thinking about ourselves like that. We have to power ourselves up with affirmations every day and gratitude, and really choose the people that we have around us, because that really is, makes up how we feel, and how we are and who we are really, and so all of these things, going out in nature and just understanding the power, the healing power of that. And sometimes we just get so caught up in the matrix that we don't just take some time to inhale some fresh oxygen sometime, and just plug out, and just don't even, yes, there are 60 emails to respond to and all of the WhatsApp messages, but right now I am not dealing with that. I'm filling my cup, so we can go back and deal with that. And it took me a while to adjust, because, like I said, I'm a perfectionist. In fact, funnily enough, my name Kamila is Swahili, and it means like unto perfection. And I really believe that it has been a blessing and a curse in my life, because, perfection doesn't really exist. And sometimes you have to be okay with not being perfect, because it's not, it's not something that we can achieve. And so, bringing it back full circle, we can't just, even back to that quote that you just brought up, that I shared, that, really losing the weight and becoming healthy is about the mindset, really, and losing the mindset before the pounds that got you there in the first place.
Awesome. And you've dropped a lot of gems just now, and I'm hoping that we can find all of this in your book, Wake Up and Live, a 6-week journey into a holistic approach to lifestyle changes. Talk to us quickly about the book, and what are some takeaways for persons who grab their copy and have a read?
So the book is called Wake Up and Live, as you said. I just released the second edition about a year ago. It's available on my website, thewellfitclub.com. And boy, that book is everything. I go in, and it really is a mind, body, spirit approach to lifestyle change, because it takes you through 16 lifestyle changes from a nutrition perspective of how you need to change your diet, getting rid of high fructose corn syrup, eating less sodium, eating 6 servings of vegetables every day, having a green juice and smoothie every day, why to stay adequately hydrated, how to cook, cut out added sugar. all of these really important life changes. But then there's the other side of it. So there's in each chapter there's an affirmation. So there's a forgiveness affirmation, there is a
Mm.
gratitude affirmation, there is a self-love affirmation. Affirmations has played a very important role in my healing and my journey and my own approach to wellness. And then there's spiritual, the importance of spiritual health. And so, I really kind of go in, and what I love about the work that I'm doing now with the WellFit, the WellFit Club, is that I really feel like it represents my what would you say, maturity within the
Mm-hmm.
health space. So, I started, it was all physical and like my high intense interval training and becoming a certified personal trainer and just my approach that way. And then, as my journey and my experience, as I have kind of traversed through life, I've kind of added very different focuses and pillars. And so in Wake Up and Live the book, it really is mind, body, spirit. And now within the WellFit Club, it really is these 7 pillars. So I go even a little
Mm-hmm.
bit deeper, again, from
Mm-hmm.
my own experience. I didn't speak about sleep in the book, for example. And now in the
Mm-hmm.
WellFit Club, it's a huge part. It's a big pillar. Sleep, like
Mm-hmm.
we have to really think about our quality of sleep and like what kind of sleep habits we have and, all of those things. And that wasn't until I hit that rock bottom myself. So it really has been a beautiful thing. Like sometimes I have to say, yo, Ja, why me, man? But then looking back, I can see
Yeah.
why
Why
me,
not
because
you? Mm-hmm.
I think that I have and had to go through the very, very, very difficult experiences in my life, because
Mm-hmm.
I truly believe that I was picked by him to coach people through some of the things that I went through myself, so that I went through it to really understand it in the fullness, and then have become an expert in my field, so I can merge those two and really make an impact in somebody's life. And it feels good. I mean, to me, that's what success is all about. It's really understanding who you are, everything that you've been through, and how that has become and shaped a part of who you are. And then also just knowing your purpose in life, and like how all of those experience kind of work towards that purpose, and the joy of being able to pursue my purpose. To me, that really is the success. You talk about the road and the journey to success. To me, it's really understanding your purpose here on earth, and doing it wholeheartedly with all of you, with all the passion and all the love and all of um the vision really is beyond me. It really is about
Mm-hmm.
the other people that I've been able to be privileged enough to coach and train them towards being their best selves.
And in saying that, it has put a lot of things into perspective for us, because you're also a public figure, and whatever happens in your life, it is basically public. Hearing you speak now, my next question is almost redundant, but I will ask it anyway, because you have persons out there who are going through a divorce, or they're going through a breakup, and they don't know how to handle this situation, and you had it twofold. I mean, it's tugging on your emotions, and it is also in the public. Everybody is a spectator. Was this a difficult period for you, and did this actually aid in pushing you in the direction to say mind, body, and soul, in a holistic type of way?
Absolutely. I think going through a divorce was one of the hardest things that I've ever done in my life.
Mm-hmm.
I actually, nobody in my family has ever been divorced. My parents are still happily married 37 years later. And so
Mm-hmm.
I kind of grew up seeing successful
That. Mm-hmm.
relationships and happy
Mm-hmm.
relationships and loving relationships. And it was a very difficult decision, something that actually took me years and back and forthing. And that, as you said, having to go through that from a public perspective. And for a very long time, nobody even knew that
Mm-hmm.
that's what I was maneuvering through, because, you know, you kind of want to protect everybody and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Having a daughter has really molded and shaped my reaction and response to many of the things that I've gone through. And I think about her first at all times. And so, I decided and made that decision to kind of keep my divorce and everything that I was going through very, very private.
Mm-hmm.
Even though when there was rumors coming up, even when, people were lashing out and saying this and saying that,
Mm-hmm.
making their judgment on something that they didn't even know, my decision was to remain silent about it.
Mm-hmm.
And as I said, that motivation was and still is to this day Kaylani, and the fact that she will read about these things one day, she will have to make peace with this one day. And really and truly, at the end of the day, as much as I didn't want it to fail, I had to prioritize her and her happiness. And if I'm not
Mm-hmm.
happy, there's no way that she can be happy. And furthermore,
Absolutely.
I am who she will look up to as who and what a woman is, and
Mm-hmm.
who and what a woman will stand for, and what is okay and what is not okay. And
Facts.
that was very, very, very important to me. It was very important to draw certain lines and boundaries, and for her to just know that there are certain things that are absolutely unacceptable. And so, yeah, it was very difficult, being a single mother and, just kind of having to kind of maneuver through that. Again, not
Mm-hmm.
having that being something that I was raised in or knew anything about.
Mm-hmm.
And so, to this day, I think we're still on that healing journey, to be
Mm-hmm.
honest. And I don't, it's something about healing and getting healthy that we all have to embrace that,
Mm-hmm.
it's not like you reach this final destination of being healed.
Yes.
Ta-da, here
Mm-hmm.
we go,
Yeah. It's continuous.
Um, it's a continuation, it's a ebb and flow, it's
Mm-hmm.
not linear. Many people think that
Mm-hmm.
success is this linear thing, that healing is this linear thing, when it really is messy.
Mm-hmm.
I find myself right now coming to terms with the fact that I'm still not healed from many of the things that I experienced. And
Mm-hmm.
just journaling has been a very important part of that process, because we can't heal if we don't know what our thoughts are. We can't heal if we don't know ourselves and when we're out of alignment. And so, that whole pillar of feeling well, again, is something that I'm very passionate about, because I have seen where in my own life, that's where, the smell detector comes up and you're like, wait, hold on. That doesn't really sit with what is important to me. This doesn't feel good. This is not in alignment with who I am. And so, no, I'm not going to accept this. Or, yes, I'm going to make this decision. But again, that only kind of comes from knowing yourself and really understanding what you're going and growing through. So yeah, it was a very difficult couple of years. I think, both she
Mm-hmm.
and I we're still on that healing path and journey. And
Mm-hmm.
I look forward to that. I mean, I think one of the blessings that came out of the entire experience is our relationship. We're extremely close because, at some point kind of all we had was each other. When I
Mm-hmm.
wasn't able to um deal with it in a public way, it was a very private healing between the two of
Mm-hmm.
us. And so I think we will forever have a very, very, very special bond, because we went through some
Turmoil
stuff.
together.
We went
Yeah.
through some
Yeah.
stuff, and we're
But
still going through stuff. And she knows that I have her back, and like, at the end of the day, that's what matters. That I'm here, me
mm-hmm.
there, with her, and that is what
Yeah.
mattered to me. You know.
What is also a crucial component is like co-parenting. It is a difficult period, and I think something difficult, especially like we see it in a lot of Jamaican families, or even among people of color. Like you hear it all the time. As someone who is going through it, what advice or tips would you give to a mom or a dad who is listening now and they are having challenges just to co-parent, just to come together and do this thing for the betterment of the child?
Yeah, I mean, always put the child's happiness first. You have to step outside your own ego and the things that you believe in and want to stand so proud in. Sometimes I mean, all the time, it's not about that. At the end of the day, what makes your child most happy, what is going to make her feel most at peace, that, it really isn't about us, it's about them. And I think
Mm-hmm.
that has really just kind of led, how I have approached co-parenting, and, things that I might not agree with, but at the end of the day, what is best for Kaylani? Period.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Non-negotiable. What is best for her? The end. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right. On a lighter note, no, kids love ice cream and candies, right? As someone, you CEO and founder of WellFit Club, how do you, and you can help other parents, how do we get our children to eat healthier? Kind of sneak
Um,
in that kind of thing without being rigid or strong arming them.
Sure. I would say first and foremost, involve them in the process. They like to feel a part of it. And when they feel a part of it, it's like whether or not it's making the smoothies with you, or,
Mm-hmm.
helping you in the kitchen, then it almost becomes a part of their pride, because they are a
Mm-hmm.
part of the creation. Speaking to them about the importance, so that they understand why, we have to minimize those things, and that they're absolutely a part of, the process, the candy
Mm-hmm.
and the ice cream, so that's thirdly, balance. It's
Mm-hmm.
important to have a balance. They're kids, and they deserve to have fun and enjoy life and do sweet things in life. But everything in balance, and for you to kind of just set up a little structure, so they know, okay, on the weekends, you're going to carry me to ice cream. So no, I can't have it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Seeing you, as a parent yourself, making healthier decisions and prioritizing exercise and a healthy lifestyle amidst all your responsibilities. You can't underestimate the power of that, and how that sets them up for, a lifetime of health as well. Because, I feel like kids always come back full circle to what they were raised in. And so
Mm-hmm.
it's important for you as a parent to be healthy, not just for yourself, but also for your kids to see,
Mm-hmm.
good role models of what a healthy adult is. Um, and yeah, just kind of making sure that there's balance, making sure that you're not awarding, I find that a lot of our, um, the ways in which we kind of, so let's say our child gets a good report card. One of the easiest things to do is to, kind of give them ice cream or order the pizza, or
Mm-hmm.
so it's
Mm-hmm.
almost like from
True.
a very, very young age, we are wired to think that
Mm-hmm.
whenever there's a heightened emotion, whenever we are happy and celebrating, whenever we're sad, whenever, then food is almost used as the drug. And so I
Mm-hmm.
think from a very early age, it's important to strike that balance between what you're rewarding your kids with. So maybe you can reward them with an experience instead of a food,
Mm-hmm.
so that they can understand that it's not just when something good happens, then, because then that wiring becomes very powerful, and it's very hard to rewire your brain. In fact, a lot of
Mm-hmm.
the adults that I work with and coach, it's from earlier than you can even remember, that this association with unhealthy foods, and just the media that kind of perpetuates it. Those movies, when you have a bad breakup, then you take out the tub of ice cream, or you order the three
Mm-hmm.
box of
Mm-hmm.
pizza. And, it just kind of has been ingrained in us that food is kind of what the resolution is to many of our problems. And that's where the thinking gets really dangerous. So, from a very early age, just kind of ingraining these very health conscious ways of thinking, and also
Mm-hmm.
healthy ways of being.
Awesome. Now, we are a product of our experiences. Looking back, is there anything you would have done differently?
Oh, that's a good question. Maybe not to be such an overthinker,
Mm-hmm.
I think that, again, when you're somebody who, high achievement means a lot to you, and like, excellence and outputs and, all of those things, I think it does come along with a fair share of overthinking. And again, I think that this power of meditation, and, getting enough sleep, and the power of rest, and turning off for a second,
Mm-hmm.
this really has just been a part of my life in the last year and a half. And I think if I could look back and, kind of rewire a
Tweak.
couple of things,
Mm-hmm.
I would have done that a lot earlier in my health journey. I wouldn't have been
Mm-hmm.
so fixated on the physical parts and the exercise and the diet and the nutrition and the salad and the green juice and all of these things, which are great and important. But I think I would have put a lot more focus on emotional well-being and mental health and just how you feel, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can't live a life that is happy and at peace if you don't feel good about yourself. And so I think I would have put a lot more focus. I would have relied on the tools that I know that we have, the powerful tools, a little bit earlier on in my life. But aside from that, we have to take responsibility for the decisions that we've made in our life, whether or not we think that they were the wrong ones. And that's, just by really understanding that every single one of these difficult times in my life taught me something very powerful. And, those lessons, ride with me day in and day out and sharpen who I am, and so no regrets, man. We can't live in regrets. We just have to live
Yeah.
in knowledge. The older that we get, the wiser that we are.
Mm-hmm.
And we're not living if we're not failing, really. So
True.
embrace the failures and, get excited about them, because usually we come out of them a lot more insightful than, when we started out in the first place.
And finally, Camilla, you're absolutely amazing. You gave us a wealth of information. It was absolutely a teachable moment. I truly learned a lot today. Your journey is a representation of hope for persons out there who are listening and they feel stuck on their journey on the road to success. What advice would you give to those persons listening locally and internationally?
I would say take a really deep breath in through the nose, out through the mouth, and just be. Just have faith that everything is working out as it should. Everything is working out as it should. Everything is as it should be. And I think that when we sit in that faith and that knowing that all, as we say in Jamaica, what is for you can't unfor you. So we can't get too stressed out and caught up in what's not happening, what's not working. Let's look at what is working. And you'd be surprised how much you attract what is working when that's really what you're putting out there, when you genuinely believe it, when you let things go. And you just live in faith, right? You choose faith over fear. To me, that would be my advice over anything else.
Wow, Kamila McDonald, thank you so much. You are indeed a champion. Your brother said it best.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. This was awesome. And we wish you all the best.
Love and
Tell us how
blessings
we
to you
can
all.
join your fitness classes online.
So it's 100% online, thewellfitclub.com. Looking forward to meeting you and coaching you.
Yeah.
And you can find me on Instagram at I am Kamila McDonald. And yeah, enough love, Kshema. Thank you for
Oh
having me. It's a
gosh,
real,
thank you so much. This was super awesome. I enjoyed every moment and you are amazing.
thank you so much, Kshema. Blessings to
All
you.
right. Thank you so much. Of course, that was Kamila McDonald. Right now, you're listening to Champion, courtesy of her brother, Keznamdi. We're going to go for a quick break. When we come back, more inside the Easy Skanking.